Let me welcome the great Chris Bosh, who has made his way in here and be with us a little bit here and now as we get through the playoffs and everything. Always great to see you, Chris.
Appreciate it. Good to see you, man.
Let me start with you then. We'll give you the first crack at this because that one clip where he said he doesn't care how people perceive him related to other great players, that got out, the last couple of days. We let other people air that, and no one seems to buy it. No one believes him for a second that he doesn't care. Do you believe that he doesn't care?
Of course. Why would he? That's always a fascinating conversation, but that's all it is a conversation. I remember Kobe saying earlier in the year, why can't we just enjoy each other's greatness? Why can't the fans enjoy people's greatness? But I understand, it's a competitive sport, and since a young age, there's always going to be that comparison. When I'm hanging out with my dad, it's always that's just going to be the conversation forever, and it's not going to stop. It's always been like that in basketball.
Anybody else? Who does anyone here at the table either believe or not believe that he genuinely doesn't care?
I think while he was a player, he cared. And that drove him to be the best player he could possibly be in every facet, in particular the championships. That's why he takes so much pride in holding up his 5 fingers anytime he can. But now that he's accomplishing so much away from the floor, Greeny, you start appreciating the game of life. And you start to get removed from that competitive spirit of running and jumping and dunking to trying to win Oscars now, to trying to be a father now. So he had that thirst to try to be the greatest, and he wanted to be ranked #1, but now he doesn't care.
Okay, but wait, there was competitiveness in his answer. He said, I do not engage in things that I cannot definitively win.
Yeah.
So it was a subtle little, no, I'm still competitive, but I'm just going to pretend.
I feel like Kobe's brilliant. Like, it's a lose-lose situation to start saying I'm the best ever. But internally, if you're a competitor, how does it not bother you when you have conversations, is LeBron or Michael Jordan the greatest of all time? And he's like, hold up a second. So I think one thing is what you say, and I firmly do believe that he feels that to a certain degree, but there's always this little ounce inside of you that is the one that makes your heart beat. It's always the thing that makes you say, I know that I'm the best, that I'm the greatest of all time. I don't need to say it. It's the same thing with Michael. Michael didn't need to say it, but you always knew that Michael knew it. And I feel like it's the same way with Kobe.
That's
Kobe
why
knows
I believe him. That's why, as I've listened to everyone saying, I don't believe what Kobe is saying for a minute. I'm telling you, you're wrong. Because Kobe doesn't think he's the greatest player ever. He knows he's the greatest player in his own mind, and he could not care less what my opinion of that is. Great. And that is one of the things that makes him great. And I think that genuinely is, and it's a great lesson for young people, young athletes, and young people everywhere. Your own belief in yourself is far more significant than what some dope on television says about you. Quickly, we talked about super teams, CB. We talked about super teams.
Yeah.
Well, you're the ones who ruined that. That's you. That's you and LeBron and D-Wade. You screwed this whole thing up for everybody in Miami.
It's all good.
So what do you think? when you hear that stuff now, the whole super team thing, like as one of the, you're one of the originals of the super team thing. Like, what do you hear when you hear that conversation?
Well, I mean, just the dynamic of business changed. I think it's just a different time, like Kobe said. Dirk, that was just a different time. Now I think guys are kind of aware of situations, and guys being lifers and not lifers, you see some guys kind of move on from the team or the team move on from them. You get young guys in a position that they can say, you know what, let me control my own fate and my own future. I want to win now. And like we're talking about with this whole GOAT debate, to be honest, it's hard watching the same teams every year compete in June. I got tired of watching the Lakers and the Celtics every year. I wanted to be a part of it, and the best way to be a part of it was to join other talent.
I agree with CB, but there is a player that a super team did diminish his greatness, and let's not front, Kevin Durant. When people start talking about the greatest players of all time, he gets slighted. When we talk about who's the best player in the game right now, he doesn't get mentioned. And he's the reigning back-to-back finals MVP. They're still averaging close to 30, still shooting 40 from 3, still shooting 90 from the line, on the best team currently in basketball. We're not even having him in the MVP conversation. So it did diminish how people view Kevin Durant in particular.
Yeah, for sure.
I think that's reasonable. And then one more I wanted to just get a quick thought from you, Jay, if I could, when he talked about Zion and all the stuff that's going to be out there. I mean, you've lived this to a degree. At Duke, huge star, all the rest of that. No one's ever been a star of this magnitude, though, at this level. But he just said, no matter what else happens, you focus on the game. Do you think that's possible?
I think in today's age, it's extremely challenging due to social media. But I do believe Zion has that innate ability just to keep it set. I mean, that's what made Kobe great, too. I mean, people say, well, he's myopic. He has the horse blinders on, and that could sometimes make him extremely too focused. But for Kobe, that's how his bread was his butter, and it started with the gym. And I think if Zion were to take on that advice, that would make Zion even better once he gets to the next level.
The one thing was, Kobe didn't have the social media distractions that Zion has, but Zion is his own person. He is a unicorn in the way that he can block all of that out. I've never seen anything like it before.